Ohio State will be in white. They will defend to our right. The Lady Raiders of Texas Tech in black. Yesterday, defeating Vanderbilt, the top-ranked team in the country, 60-46 to make it to the championship game. And the Buckeyes outlasting Iowa in overtime, 73-72. And the Lady Raiders open the scoring. Cynthia Klinger, number 34, a senior from Freedom, Wyoming, and the only non-Texan in the starting five. Keaton underneath for the Buckeyes. Her shot is short.
Both teams like to run. It will be a very up-tempo game. Ohio State will play a zone and a man-to-man. They'll switch things up against the zone for Texas Tech.
Noel Johnson in the backcourt. Stephanie Scott. This is Kirkland on the wing. Kirkland with 14 points and 7 rebounds yesterday, supporting the 31-point day by Sheryl Swoopes. Turnover by the Raiders. And Roberts missed the easy layup. Klinger rebounds for the Lady Raiders.
Coming into this game, Ohio State felt that they might have the height advantage because they don't play too many teams that are of equal height or less, like a Texas Tech.
Noel Johnson for three. Off the hands of the Lady Raiders, Kirkland, and it'll be Ohio State ball. Marcia Sharp, coach of the Texas Tech Lady Raiders, as we are just underway in Atlanta, and this game starting out a little bit like both semifinals did yesterday. The teams perhaps with some Final Four jitters, not hitting the early shots. Bursey trying to get up over Swoopes, can't do it. And the first foul will go to Sheryl Swoopes.
Good persistence by Audrey Bursey. She got caught underneath, did not take a good shot, and then was able to get the ball back into her hands to put it back up. Sheryl Swoopes did not have any fouls against Vanderbilt, and here she picks up her first.
Sheryl Swoopes with 36 points against Colorado to lead her team into the Final Four. 31 against Vanderbilt, 11 boards yesterday. During the season had 53 points against Texas. Audrey Bursey, on the other hand, a real leader for the Buckeyes yesterday, 13 points and 9 rebounds, 5 assists in her own personal battle against Lori Aaron of Iowa that was a dandy to watch.
Ohio State coming out in a press. They're a very aggressive team defensively. Texas Tech did not see any presses in the tournament.
Noel Johnson, Kirkland in the corner, Swoopes.
One of the reasons Nancy Darsh is going to put that pressure on in the front court is because Tech is a team that takes care of the basketball, and she's trying to create some turnovers.
Basket will not count, but Roberts fouled Klinger.
You see the outside shot, but watch Klinger come out of nowhere. Nobody blocks her out. Smith is not able to get there, and you see Roberts kind of reaching in, picking up her first foul.
2-1 Texas Tech lead, and a three-point basket by Kirkland. Krista Kirkland, the senior from Spearman, Texas.
What a good out-of-bounds play. The defense had shifted and left Kirkland wide open in the corner.
And Roberts hits for three. Averill Roberts, the senior from Boston at 5'9", and she breaks up the pass. Buckeye steal.
Tech only averages 15 turnovers a game.
And Swoopes gets it right back for the Raiders, and she hits. 7-4 Texas Tech. And that sound you hear is woo for Swoopes.
There you saw the senior against the freshman on a break situation.
Bursey shot misses. Roberts rebounding. Brought down by Klinger. The Raiders breaking fast. Kirkland's three is off. Keaton rebounds for the Buckeyes.
Both these teams like to run. They'll keep it going fast.
Well, the jitters seem to be gone, even though we've had a couple of early turnovers. It's been mainly good defensive play.
When you can get into a running game, Tim, it also helps the jitters go because you're not able to think about what's going on out there.
Amy Smith wanted a foul, didn't get it. Roberts missing out the front iron. Keaton trying to save, can't do it, she's out of bounds.
Good shift by the zone. Klinger coming down. Smith complaining. You can see her yelling at the official. And Smith has a tendency to do that a lot to the officials, talking to them, trying to get a call to go her way.
Kirkland. Smith meets her there, and she'll avoid the foul. I thought you might get a foul call, but it's a travel against Kirkland.
It's a good call by the official. It was a nice move by Kirkland to split the defense. She lost Smith for a while, and then Smith was able to recover.
Audrey Bursey, 13 points against Iowa yesterday. Off knee surgery a year ago. Been a real team leader for the Buckeyes. The freshman Smith, no shots for her. Keaton and Klinger get a jump ball on the rebound attempt. Possession arrow is Ohio State.
I was able to talk to the coaches before the game, and Nancy Darsh was saying offensively against that 2-3 zone that they were going to try and sneak in behind, maybe get a pass over the zone, but it would also enable them to get some offensive rebounds.
Katie Smith driving, and she is fouled by Stephanie Scott, number 20. Scott, a 5'9" junior from Plano, Texas.
She's a defensive specialist, yes, for this Texas Tech team.
Lady Raiders only committed 6 fouls against Vanderbilt in the semifinal win yesterday. Long range miss, a steal by Roberts from Sheryl Swoopes. Avril Roberts, 5 points for her. Roberts.
She leads his team in steals, along with Bursey. Those were the two that had steals yesterday.
And Roberts with 16 points against Iowa.
The biggest thing offensively, Tim, for Texas Tech is to try and pick up what Ohio State is doing defensively. They're going to call a block on Roberts because they switch from the 2-3 zone to the man-to-man. Here we see Swoopes trying to bring it down. She crosses over. Good quick hands by Roberts reaching in, and Swoopes kind of looking at the official wanting a foul.
We have a timeout, 15:28 to go, a 1-point game.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1993 NCAA Women's Basketball Final Game is sponsored by Oldsmobile, official car for NCAA championships. Hanes Herway Activewear, bras, panties, and socks. Just wait till we get our Hanes on you. And by Roundup Grass and Weed Killer. One shot, that's all it takes. Roundup.
Back live from the Omni in Atlanta. 7-6, Texas Tech leading Ohio State. Johnson misses the jumper for the Lady Raiders. Rebounded by Katie Smith. Bursey feeding Roberts on the baseline, missed everything. An air ball grabbed by Sheryl Swoopes. Nice play, but no result. Kirkland into the paint. Backbone drop. Keaton rebounding for the Buckeyes. The running game continues as expected.
Both teams getting off quick shots in these last 3 possessions.
Keaton, the senior from Lansing, Michigan, had 14 points and 13 rebounds yesterday. It's her first basket today.
Keaton is really tough to guard because a 6-foot senior, she's a forward, but she can hit that 3-point shot. She's going to get called for the foul on holding Sheryl Swoopes trying to cut across, but a lot of times Keaton will step out and hit that outside shot. Here you see Swoopes being guarded by Nikki Keaton. Keaton trying to get through that screen of Klingers and a lot of body contact.
Keaton averages nearly 15 points a game and shoots 57% from the field. She was a key player yesterday in the victory over Iowa.
And she was so excited she got her picture on the front of the newspaper with that bow in her hair.
Yeah, we voted her bow of the tournament.
That's right. And Nancy Darsh was saying, yeah, you guys call her Pebbles, but we think of her as Minnie Mouse.
Scott firing all the way to Kirkland, lets the 3 go, won't drop. Keaton is there to rebound. Breaking is Roberts. Bursey. And Bursey blocked by Klinger.
Cynthia Klinger doesn't get a lot of credit on this team. Good penetration by Bursey, and you see Roberts trying to set a pick, but Klinger is right there, the 6'2" senior from Freedom, Wyoming.
Katie Smith.
Nancy Darsh felt her team had to look for the 3-point shot, try and get it inside against this 2-3 zone. Marcia Sharp felt defensively for her team that they've got to stop the three-point shot of Smith, Bursey, and Roberts on the outside, but also have to be able to double down against the post players. So it's going to take a lot of movement by the defense.
Roberts converting Bursey's miss and is fouled. 7 points for Roberts.
And Swoopes is going to pick up her second personal foul. You see Roberts getting in on the boards. Good pump fake right there, and a little touch foul by Sheryl Swoopes. Swoopes is really going to have to be conscious and see whether this takes her out of the game or she's just going to go full board.
Roberts makes it a three-point play and a 4-point lead for the Buckeyes. 8 points for Roberts.
Neither team was able to scout each other very much, and so in not knowing each other, I think this press by Ohio State has surprised Texas Tech a little bit.
Stephanie Scott throws up an air ball. She had lots of room but rushed it. Buckeyes back the other way, and a bad pass for Roberts from Bursey.
Marcia Sharp feeling that, you see Nancy Darsh on that pass there, but Marcia Sharp felt that her team had to take good shots and think about the shots that they're taking. They're rushing their three-point shots a little bit against the zone. Now Ohio State is back into the man-to-man. So they're really mixing things up against Texas Tech.
Swoopes for three.
Now there's a relaxed, easy shot.
She's a relaxed, easy player. And that makes her the all-time tournament scorer, 135 points in this tournament.
Breaking Bridget Gordon's record from Tennessee. Good double down right there.
Howard had no room to shoot, kicks it out. This is Roberts for 2 points.
Roberts already with 10 points.
13-10 Buckeye lead. Swoopes drives the baseline, unimpeded. Seven points, and her mother Louise up on her feet, applauding that effort.
Flying all the way out from Brownfield, Texas. This time on the airplane. You see your daughter play on the road like this.
Katie Smith into the paint.
First 2 points for Katie Smith.
15-12 Buckeyes. Krista Kirkland setting it up. Swoopes deep in the corner.
The one thing offensively, Tim, Texas Tech has to keep moving. They have to figure out whether it's a zone or a man-to-man. They have to set some picks. And these outside shots, here's a big bucket by Sheryl Swoopes. But I guess when you got somebody like Swoopes, it doesn't matter.
Just get it in her hands every chance you get. 9 points for Swoopes. You can score inside, outside, rebound, run, do it all. Travel call against Stacey Howard, the junior center, and a timeout with a 1-point Buckeye lead. Superstar Swoopes, her numbers during the tournament, 36 against Colorado the High, averaging 33, and with her points so far today, she has now become the all-time tournament scorer in women's basketball history.
And she's amazing. In the game before that for the Southwest Conference post-tournament play against Texas, 53 points.
But it's a 1-point Ohio State lead. Ohio State shot only 43% against Iowa yesterday, well below their average. And in fact, Texas Tech did not shoot as well as they do. They were only 42% in the win over Vanderbilt. And they usually shoot 52%. That's #1 in the nation. Kirkland lets fly and hits for three. Raiders in front, 6 points for Kirkland.
Turnover by Ohio State. The defense, I think, has really affected Texas Tech, although you never know it. But I think bringing the ball up, Noelle Johnson had a little bit of a trouble with Audrey Bursey because she's so aggressive.
Negri in the game for Ohio State. First substitution of the game. This is Scott. Scott, Kirkland, Johnson, Klinger, and Swoopes. Starting 5 and another 3 for Swoopes. 12 points. 20 to 15. Raiders lead.
The thing that makes her so difficult to guard, too, Tim, is the fact that she can hit that three-point shot, and then if you come up tight and play that close defense, boom, she goes right by you with that first step.
Steal by Swoopes. He's got the easy break.
And boom, she steps right in that passing lane and takes it.
22 to 15. 9-0 run for the Lady Raiders of Texas Tech from Lubbock, Texas. Keaton hits it. Swoopes got a hand on it, but a good follow by Negri. Lisa Negri, the freshman from Flint, Michigan, into the lineup for center Stacy Howard. Mercy bothering Noelle Johnson. Johnson retains it.
Texas Tech has done a good job as far as setting their picks. They're constantly moving, trying to get somebody open against the man-to-man.
Travel call against Johnson.
He's talking about the quickness on the first step on offense, and there it is on defense. She kind of hangs back, and because of her quickness, she's able to step into that passing lane so quickly that the defense doesn't know where she comes from.
Five-point Texas Tech lead.
You see the Lady Raiders bench just standing up, asking for a walk with Adriel Roberts. Roberts has a tendency, when she gets the ball, she steps into her shot without a dribble. And a lot of times it looks like a travel. That one did look like a travel without putting the ball on the hop. Here we'll see it on the left of your screen. She gets it, boom, boom. Thank you, we'll walk to the basket. And you can see the bench on the side asking for a traveling call.
Keaton, meanwhile, fouled by Klinger after she caught the pass from Roberts. And Nikki Keaton hits from the free throw line. 14 points and 13 rebounds yesterday against Iowa.
Keaton led her team in rebounding the last 2 years, and again this year.
Buckeyes continue to press, 22 to 19. Texas Tech.
It's not a real aggressive press. It's just to put some pressure on the people bringing the ball up the floor.
Johnson missing. Rebound by Bursey. And Bursey can fly. Won't go for it. Kirkland comes up with it.
4 on 2.
Swoopes pulls up over Smith. Take that, freshman. 24 to 19. 16 points for Swoopes. We still have 8:15 to go in the half. Katie Smith draws the foul by Klinger. Swoopes is 7 for 7 from the field.
And have not been easy shots. They're not all layups, that's for sure. But here's a good break situation right here. And Swoopes, a little pump fake right there, and pulls up for the jumper. And Smith and Negri are all over her. She puts it down. Smooth. Swoopes.
16 points, a rebound, and 2 steals, and we're barely into the game. Smith at the line for Ohio State. 1 for 2 from the floor, missing that free throw try.
Katie Smith is an 82% free throw shooter, and she was very upset yesterday in the Iowa game. She missed the front end of the 1-and-1. That really gave Iowa another opportunity to win that game, and she was very upset after the game because also in the Virginia game she missed 3 front ends of the 1-and-1. So she has struggled a little bit from the free throw line in this tournament.
Swoopes, by the way, just 2 points away from tying the record of 18 points in the half of a championship game held by 3 other players.
I think she's going to break.
I think so too. We've got 8:08 still to go. Raider ball, and now a little more stringent press here by the Buckeyes. Kirkland breaks it. Swoopes, and her first miss. Foul called on number 24, Janice Farris, into the game for the Lady Raiders. Picks up her first foul, a junior from Lubbock, Texas, home of the Lady Raiders of Texas Tech. And a timeout at 7:53 to go first half. Texas Tech by 4.
Welcome back to the Omni Arena, everyone. We've been watching Sheryl Swoopes play a great game. Her mom, Louise, it's the first time she's ever been out of the great state of Texas. She flew for the first time, and actually it was a pretty nerve-wracking experience for her. And even today, she's got a little motion sickness watching her kid go up and down the court. I spoke to her earlier. She said she liked to talk, but frankly, the great play of her daughter is just making her a little bit too nervous to speak right now.
Yeah, that must include the fact that Sheryl's got 2 fouls today when she didn't have at this point in yesterday's game. But she's having a great start. 14 from the field, 7 of 8 she's made. And a 24-20 Texas Tech lead.
Ohio State has put Katie Smith down in the post position.
Bursey an air ball from 3-point territory. Katie Smith with just 3 points and 1 rebound. Of course, it's not a scoring contest between those two. They're completely different kind of players, and Smith, no doubt, will play a very important role as the game goes on.
Smith is very capable of scoring. She needs to have the game come to her. She didn't get her first 2 points until over 11 minutes. Katie Smith is asking for, hey, at 30-second clock, we threw it up, but the ball has to touch the ring.
Did not touch the ring.
Not the backboard.
It hit the backboard. She missed the ring.
And it doesn't count. Sometimes players and coaches don't always know the rules.
That may be.
Or announcers.
Or they hope that that maybe it did graze the ring, or that the officials thought it did.
Here's a replay, and it goes right over the rim and off the backboard.
Backboard isn't good enough. And so the 30-second clock expires, and the ball belongs to the Lady Raiders. Officials Sally Bell and Dee Kantner were correct.
And they caught it.
7:17 to go, first half. Raiders by 4.
You can see defensively Ohio State Negri really not quick enough to stay with Swoopes.
Swoopes for another 3, 19 for her. She now is the record holder for points and a half in a championship game. Sheryl Swoopes hoping to pursue a professional career. She'll have to go to Europe to do that. That is her intention, and then ultimately to coach.
Jim Foster, the Vanderbilt coach, felt that we want to hold her from not scoring 40 or 50 points, but I don't know if that is going to hold true in this game, whether Ohio State can stop her.
Ball is stolen away from Lisa Negri. Turnover Buckeyes. Kirkland lost it right back to Bursey with her quick game. Audrey Bursey for Katie Smith. Beautiful play.
Good unselfish play by the point guard, Audrey Bursey.
Bursey 13 points, 9 boards yesterday against Iowa. Wonderful duel with Lori Aaron of Iowa in that game. Kirkland is short with a 3, and the rebound is Roberts.
Even though the shot was missed, you can see how Swoopes gets doubled and triple teamed out on the perimeter, which leaves her teammates open.
Kirkland the near steal, but it's controlled by Roberts for the Buckeyes. Smith will try again from the paint. That won't stop, and look at this barrel in after her rebound.
She'll pick up her first personal, but you can see Smith a little frustrated, I think, in trying to create something because the offense has really not come to her.
Katie Smith from Logan, Ohio, where they actually built a new gym to accommodate the fans who were coming to watch her play when she was a high school star there. She's the daughter of a dentist, and indeed is a free dental student herself at Ohio State. Accomplished in other sports, state discus and shot put champion. 2 more years ahead at Ohio State. Michael Atkins. And Scott with a follow. That's her first points. Atkins into the lineup. Giving a rest to Cynthia Klinger in the center position for the Lady Raiders.
Well, there's 2-3 zone, and it is a 2-3 zone, even though you see Kirkland going to the top. There's a big shot by Smith to get things going.
Smith for 3.
That 2-3 zone, it looked like a 1-1-3, but actually the guards up top just rotate.
Texas Tech shooting at 57%, and they average 52% over the season. #1 in the nation. Driving is Swoopes, pulls up and hits. 21-20 for Swoopes, 31-25, 6-point lead for Texas Tech. Erin Ingwerson in the lineup for the Buckeyes, number 25. A sophomore from Hoffman State, Illinois. She has the ball now. Bursey driving, and she is fouled by Kirkland. First on the senior, Krista Kirkland.
You see on the defense, Negri trying to get over to Swoopes and just really too slow a foot with that first step that Swoopes has. She drives the baseline, pulls up for a little 5-foot jumper.
Texas Tech in the penalty. It's a 1-on-1 situation for Roberts. Make it Bursey at the line, pardon me. Audrey Bursey at the line for the Buckeyes.
And a plus for Ohio State really to go to the free throw line. As a team, they shoot 73%. And they're pretty deadly at the free throw line.
Nancy Darr sends back in all the starters now. Howard has returned. Bursey, Roberts, Keaton, and Katie Smith with 4:17 to go first half.
Bursey was 12 of 17 against UCLA earlier this year.
31-27, a 4-point lead for the Lady Raiders.
There's a zone by Ohio State. Quick hands by Roberts. Texas Tech uncharacteristically throwing the ball away against this quick perimeter guard situation for Ohio State.
That's a lot of syllables for an up-tempo game, man.
for me, too. Where'd that one come from?
Swoopes holds up and hits. She just makes the game look too easy. 23 points for Sheryl Swoopes.
That's just it. She is so much above everybody, Tim. Like you said, it's so easy for her, and nobody can stay with her.
Katie Smith driving. Howard rebounding, and
Smith complaining about not getting called a foul for her.
Foul is on Ferris, Janice Ferris, the junior from Lubbock, her second.
Well, the thing is with Katie Smith, all you have to do is step in front of her and take a charge because she's just like a bull in a china store. And she's upset about now a foul being called, and they're calling a foul on Ferris even though she has the ball.
I'm still wondering about that.
That was interesting, yeah.
I hesitated at the time because it didn't look like that would be the way the foul would go. Howard hits the first. 33-28. And makes the second as well. Stacey Howard, the junior from Flint. Timeout with 3:28 to go, first half. Texas Tech 33, Ohio State 29.
Well, if you're playing man-to-man defense against Texas Tech, this is one of the reasons you might get lost on defense. Stephanie Scott, Krista Kirkland, Sheryl Swoopes, and Noelle Johnson all with the 20s, and you don't know who to pick up.
Well, they haven't been able to find Sheryl Swoopes too well so far. She's 10 of 11 in this first half with 3:20 to go. But that is an interesting point. When it's up-tempo and all those numbers are the same, you got a bunch of ponytails out there, too.
When they were shooting that shot, Cynthia Klinger was saying, can't you just put some tape on my jersey and make it a 2?
This is Kirkland over to Stephanie Scott. Harris still in the lineup for the Lady Raiders, and Kirkland hits. That's for 2 just inside the 3-point line. 35-29, 8 points for Kirkland.
Bingo! I tell you, this Texas Tech team does not panic when the shot clock is going down. They always hit it at clutch time.
They're shooting at 58% in this first half.
Texas Tech bench is really happy about that travel call.
Roberts charged with the travel.
Here's a little fake right there against Roberts to get her off balance. Good pull-up by Kirkland. And Swoopes and said, well, you know, Krista didn't play too well against Vanderbilt. Maybe she needs to play a little better today.
Yeah, they sat together at the press conference, but she said that
They
too.
were kidding each other.
They get along great. In fact, they feel they have a real natural feel for each other on the floor that creates some wonderful passing. And Kirkland, good fake, this time off the mark.
But it's a good shot, good ball movement by the Lady Raiders right now. They're just little pump fakes as far as making the defense go somewhere else and opens them wide up.
Only the second miss by Swoopes. This is Adrian Johnson, number 31, in for Ohio State now. Freshman from Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, Stacey Howard and Mike Micah Atkins kind of both falling down. They're going to call the foul on Stacey Howard. But give credit to Marcia Sharp's team as far as getting back on defense. They're leaving that point wide open, and Kirkland's going to knock it down.
Krista Kirkland now with 11 points.
Well, Texas Tech was concerned about stopping the three-point shot of Ohio State. They've hit a couple, but Ohio State defensively has got to get off their tail and put some pressure on that three-point shot of Krista Kirkland.
Biggest lead of the game, 38-29, and Keaton is fouled inside. First on Micah Atkins.
Here you see the points. Roberts and Bursey really spreading out. Kirkland wide open all by herself. Somebody at the top has to come out and pick her up. Leave the wing, the opposite wing open.
2 shots.
Nikki Keaton at the free throw line. 1:35 left first half. She has 4 points, make it 5. An 80% free throw shooter. 6 points for Keaton. 7-point Texas Tech lead. Lady Raiders have yet to shoot a free throw in this first half.
They really haven't gotten the ball inside to create any fouls against the man-to-man defense or this zone.
In for Ferris, and she couldn't handle it on the feed from Kirkland. Buckeye ball. Janice Ferris, a junior from Lubbock. Getting some time today. She did not play against Vandy yesterday. In fact, all of the starters went the distance except for Klinger. Micah Atkins coming in to replace her some against Vanderbilt.
One of the few passes you see by Audrey Bursey going out of bounds.
9 turnovers for Ohio State. Noelle Johnson returns now. Ferris goes out for the Lady Raiders.
Well, it was the type of game, too, for the Lady Raiders against Vanderbilt where they did not need to use a lot of substitutions. For them, they were not in a highly up-tempo game.
Look at that first move by Swoopes. She is so quick. She missed the shot. She's missed only 3 from the floor.
And then you think, okay, as a defensive player, do I just sag off her? But then he'll hit that outside shot.
Smith ran into traffic, and down she goes. Raiders come away with the ball. Good feed. And Ferris misses.
Big rebound by Atkins. She had 2 points yesterday, played 15 minutes for Klinger. There's a travel call.
Turnovers now, 40-31. 23.9 seconds left first half. And it's Scott who went to the bench for the Lady Raiders. Ferris remaining in for Texas Tech. And you can see Texas Tech shooting a torrid 56% in this first half, and the Buckeyes at only 32. Swoopes has been the star so far, and no surprise. Missing that time everything.
Great hustle by Ferris, but what happens, even though that ball goes out of bounds, it gives them an opportunity to get down on defense so Ohio State cannot kick it out on that defensive rebound and get a good shot.
And that's the end of the first half with the score. Texas Tech 40, Ohio State 31 in this championship game. Andrea Joyce will be along with at the half, and Stanford coach Carl Vanderveer after this word and a message from your local station. 23 points for Sheryl Swoopes, and just chatting with Rick Barry, the great former NBA star, is here watching this. He's a great women's basketball fan, and he said he was a little surprised that Ohio State was trying to run with him. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't think Ohio State ran at all, and I thought when Ohio State did run it in off the defense, they did a good job as far as going at it. I think that the one thing that's hurt Ohio State is Avriel Roberts, those 2 fouls. She was guarding Sheryl Swoopes, and Swoopes did not score right away. I think Roberts really has to get into this game, and she needs to score the points for Ohio State.
Roberts with 10 and Katie Smith with 8 to lead Ohio State in that first half. Kirkland with the ball. She has 11 points at this point. And in fact, she and Swoopes have 34. of the 40 Texas Tech points.
And there, Roberts playing good defense, causing a turnover. It'll be interesting. Audrey Bursey is guarding Sheryl Swoopes starting out in this second half. There's a big height advantage at 5'6" and 6 foot.
Both teams with their original 5 starting. This is Bursey. Bursey off the iron, and rebound comes to Katie Smith. Her turnaround off the glass, missed it badly, trying to force it again.
And Bursey now 0 of 8 from the floor. Bursey has had big games the last 3 times she has played, and she is struggling from the floor in this game.
18 points against Iowa yesterday, along with 9 rebounds.
There's a switch-up double team right there, a little slap, and there's a big foul on Avril Roberts, her 3rd personal.
Well, that's a key foul. This is a very, very important player for the Buckeyes' chances. Avril Roberts, a senior, brings a lot of hustle and leadership out there, and 16 points yesterday against Iowa.
She drops down to help out on defense and gets caught with a slap right there, but then she is, like you said, Tim, the key, because she was started out fast. She scored 10 points in that first half and had to sit most of the first half.
Stephanie Scott to Klinger, and Klinger with some room connects.
Well, Klinger does average 11 points a game. There was a stretch where she only did not score at all in 3 games against Texas, Washington, and USC, but she does so many other things out there on the floor for these Lady Raiders. There she walked again. Avril Roberts has that little step, and a lot of things she has gotten away with it most seasons.
Katie Smith from the baseline. 42-33, Lady Raiders lead. Scott, Johnson, Swoopes, Klinger, and Kirkland for Texas Tech.
Little push off.
Gets a little room, no problem.
Trying to push Bursey away from there.
Yeah.
You little gnat, get away from me.
34-33, Smith goes a distance. That'll count, but she is fouled. For the freshman, Katie Smith from Logan, Ohio, starting out hot here in the second half.
Good dish right there. Contact by Klinger. Her 3rd personal.
Lisa Sebastian into the game for Ohio State, a 5'5" senior from Avon Lake, Ohio. John Bursey in the backcourt with Smith, Howard, the center, number 43. And Keaton.
Well, Ohio State looks like they've come out in the second half and attacking a little bit more, being a little bit more aggressive.
Klinger in and out. And is fouled, trying to keep her rebound alive.
2 quick fouls on Cynthia Klinger. She had 2 in that first half. She knows she's got to come out of this game. And Micah Atkins coming into the game, the freshman at 6 foot from Lorain, Texas. And this is the biggest crowd she's ever played in front of. Her high school packed the gym at 150 people.
16,000 here in the Omni today. It's been a sellout through the Final Four. Scalpers in action. And they have been treated to a real good championship game, and the brilliance of Sheryl Swoopes so far this afternoon, and it's a long way to go. With 17:42 still to play, the steal by Kirkland. He's fouled by Sebastian. The basket will count or no? No, it will not, and it might be offensive.
No, I think they'll call it on Sebastian. They're just not counting the basket. Krista Kirkland, great concentration to put it in.
Sebastian picks up her first.
Kirkland, good heads-up play. A bad pass by Audrey Bursey. Ohio State just not moving the ball real well, and you can see Sebastian just grab her, and Kirkland was very happy with making it. Bursey, again, the height advantage against Swoopes. Bursey picking up her first foul. And Texas Tech looking to get the ball to Sheryl Swoopes with that mismatch. One of the reasons they have that Nancy Darsh has put Audrey Bursey on Swoopes, I would think, in the second half is because of the quickness factor. Obviously, Avril Roberts with her foul situation cannot guard Swoopes, so the quickness of Bursey trying to stay with Swoopes.
Minor delay here as some debris is on the floor and pointed out from the official scorer, and it's been removed. Raiders inbounding. Scott for Kirkland.
And Swoopes really looking to post up against Bursey to try and clear things out for her. Man-to-man by Ohio State. Good back The ball goes to Atkins. She misses the easy layup.
Great chance for Atkins. The ball landed right in her lap. 44-36, the score remains Texas Tech. Sebastian beating Katie Smith. Sebastian and Bursey, the backcourt for the Buckeyes. Bursey going all the way.
Now give credit to Audrey Bursey as far as penetrating to the basket. She wanted to get a foul, but here she is on defense, and on the back door, she gets her hand in there to slap it away, and then distracts Atkins on missing that shot.
And Bursey picks up her second foul against Micah Atkins. Lisa Negri comes in for Stacy Howard for Ohio State. Negri turned in 29 minutes yesterday against Iowa, contributed 9 points. Saw some action here in the first half as well.
What a pretty play right there. Just a little give and go. Swoopes looks like she's going to send it straight in front. There you talked about the connection of Kirkland and Swoopes with the eye contact, and she was gone.
27 for Swoopes. The two seniors playing their final collegiate game. They all miss each other. Kirkland and Swoopes. Bursey for three. 46-39, 6 points for Bursey.
Ohio State really needs their seniors, Bursey and Keaton, to really get on track in the second half. Roberts was one that did in the first half. Nice backdoor right there.
Good defense by Negri.
Ohio State really helped out, and Swoopes had to pull up for that shot.
Sebastian, drop for her off the back line, control by Scott.
Ohio State standing around a little bit.
Scott for Kirkland. Deep set the screen for Kirkland. And picks up the foul.
They're going to call it on Sebastian. They're calling on Sheryl Swoopes. No, Sebastian. Swoopes is standing there, and Sebastian trying to get through and just got her down.
We have a timeout on the floor, 15:41 to go, regulation time. Tech 46-39.
I know Sheryl and I just have to make contact, and eye contact, and we know immediately what the other one's thinking and where she's going to go and where I need the ball to be. And also, half the passes I throw are out of this gym, and she's just such a great athlete that she can jump up and grab them.
Those are two great pals. Krista Kirkland, she's got 11 points. Swoopes with 27. Krista from Spearman, Texas, and Swoopes from Brownfield, Texas. Two huge metropolises over there in West Texas. And it's just a great relationship. They're playing their final game and trying to win a title for Texas Tech. First ever in any major sport.
Along with Cynthia Klinger. The thing that you just love, you hear the respect and the love they have in the voices for each other.
Yeah, they can kid each other, as Swoopes did yesterday, saying she didn't think Lisa had much of a game, or Chris had much of a game in the victory over Vanderbilt.
And Sheryl said, hey, I didn't have that good a game. And then Sheryl said, Krista, you didn't either.
Right, yeah, I mean, she had 31 points. That's a real slump.
And yet she really did not have one of her better games in the sense of being smooth. But boy, you hate to see what she's like when she's really off.
There's Katie Smith, 46-41. Ohio's cut it to 5. 15 for the freshman. And we've been talking a lot about this superstar Swoopes in her final game. Katie Smith is the next superstar in women's college basketball.
Here you see Ohio State rotating the ball and Smith running the baseline. Nancy Darsh talked about running a player behind that zone, and they're finally starting to do it. They didn't do it in the first half like Tara Vanderveer picked up at halftime, and also the turnovers have really hurt Ohio State.
Already an All-American, Katie Smith, in her freshman year. Kirkland kicks it out to Scott. Back to Kirkland. Kirkland hits. 2 points. 48-41. Smith, Negri, and Bursey line up for Ohio State. That's Bursey. Swoopes is there to rebound, and she is fouled from behind by Bursey, and that'll be 3 on the senior.
Audrey Bursey just has not had one of her better games. Ohio State has not gotten into the flow of their offense. Really stagnant, just kind of passing around the perimeter. It has not penetrated into the seams of this zone and have not looked to get the ball inside. Once they get the ball inside, they need to have some cutters going.
Roberts comes back in. She has 3 on her. Averill Roberts for Ohio State. Along with Elijah Bond, number 10, a sophomore from Leonardsburg, Ohio, replacing Bursey.
Who we saw in the very beginning of the game when the plays were being introduced, invented those little handshakes and slaps.
That's right. Swoopes.
Doesn't matter who Nancy Darsh puts on Sheryl Swoopes, they just cannot get to her.
Roberts driving baseline. Good feed to Negri. Basket will count. And the foul will be against Stephanie Scott.
Well, you see Swoopes down low and Keaton on her. She's going to come back, sets the pick on Smith, but she gets back up. Keaton kind of relaxes a little bit and then takes her one-on-one. And what they say, the rest is history.
Negri at the line. 3-point play for the Buckeyes and a 6-point lead for Texas Tech. Kirkland calls the signal, sending Scott in motion, looping around the baseline. Outside, Noel Johnson.
You see a different team right now with Ohio State with Roberts in the game. There's a big bucket by Johnson, her first 2 points of the game.
Beautifully executed play by the Lady Raiders.
That's what makes Texas Tech so tough, Tim, too. Everybody kind of keys on Kirkland and Swoopes, but then you cannot leave Noel Johnson or Stephanie Scott wide open.
Johnson averages 9 points a game. Bond hits her first shot.
Well, Nancy Darsh trying to get some production from some other players, and Elisha Bond coming in and knocking one down.
And Roberts tried to come up with a loose ball. Bond does. Great effort by Roberts. Bond goes in and a work drop for him. The rebound is Swoopes. Tough break for Bond. Roberts made a great play coming up with the ball.
Use their defense, trying to get things going for Ohio State.
You'll see some quickness from this Bond. She's got great feet. She can really move. She might provide a little spark for the Buckeyes. They need it. 52-47, 12:22 to go.
Offensive foul on Noel Johnson, trying to set a screen for her teammate. Just great hustle by Ohio State. Roberts really makes this happen. Trying a crossover dribble by Johnson right into Roberts, and Elisha Bond right there. And Bond gets the ball, and she's got the angle, but I think out of the corner of the eye, she sees Sheryl Swoopes. Plus the fact she's just come into the game, even though she knocked a 3-pointer down.
Bond's pass knocked out of bounds by Kirkland. 5-point margin.
Ohio State has gotten back into this game with their defense, and they're starting to move the ball around in their offense a little bit more.
Keaton trying to feed Smith, and it's off the hands of the leader player.
The penetration for Ohio State is going to open up their outside game.
Roberts outside for Negri.
Atkins and Keaton really going at it inside.
Smith battles her way in and hits. Basket counts and she'll go to the line. 17 for Katie Smith, picking it up in the second half.
Almost the same move that we saw against Iowa to tie that game up into overtime. There she steps back over, and the body contact with Atkins and the concentration of the clutch freshman putting the ball in the basket.
Katie Smith, 11 points, 5 rebounds yesterday against Iowa, and had to spend 6 minutes on the bench with 2 fouls. 11:54 to go, and it's a 2-point game. Spring has arrived in Atlanta. The Dogwoods are out. They'll be in Augusta, of course, next week here on CBS. This is the second largest ever championship game crowd, only behind 1990 in Knoxville. And a lot of credit should go to the chairperson of the Women's Basketball Committee for the NCAA, Judith Holland. She has done a wonderful job here and has certainly been a great help to all of us at CBS. We thank her and all of her committee members.
Most definitely. She's been very easy to work with, very cooperative.
2-point game. Texas Tech with the lead in the ball, and Katie Smith pushing on Swoopes. Second on Smith. Such a poised, relaxed player as a freshman. She's so involved in absolutely everything.
She has a lot of poise. The one thing, though, that I see that in this game, because Ohio State's been down and maybe her game in the first half wasn't as going as well as she would have liked to, she has a tendency to talk to the officials and gripe a little bit too much. And I think in the long run, like, of course, you know, it depends on what coach has her and so forth, but I think that might catch up with her in the long run. And the older she gets, she'll know when to talk to an official and how to talk to officials.
Swoopes, meanwhile, at the line for the first time today, hits her first one. She shoots 86% from here, and so she gets 2 more points and opens the lead to 4.
Oh, and guess what? 31 points.
31 points, matching her total of yesterday with 11:28 to go here today. Biggest Tech lead was 11. They're now up by 4, cut back to 2 by Keaton. Ohio State has not led since back in the first half at 15-14.
Well, I think the key has really been Roberts and Bond coming into this game. The defense has picked things up, and they've been able to go into a man-to-man.
8 points for Nikki Keaton of the Buckeyes. Shot inside for Micah Atkins. And it's rebounded by Negri. For Bond. You see Bond's got some movement and a good feed to Keaton. 10 points for Keaton and a good feed from the sophomore Elijah Bond out the bench.
Well, we talked about the big players, the seniors getting involved, and Nikki Keaton on this end of the pass puts it in, and a little bump by Kirkland, sending Keaton to the line, a chance to tie it up and go ahead with the free throw.
Take the lead for the first time since early in the first half at 15-14. They're up by 1, 10:50 to go. Swoopes from Kirkland in traffic. Outside for Johnson. Badgering man-to-man defense now by the Buckeyes.
The Lady Raiders just have to take their time, set some picks, and aggressive defense. You got to look for the back door.
Micah Atkins missed it, but she is fouled, and
they're going to call it on Negri.
Negri hurt. It looked like as Atkins came up with a shot that she caught Negri in the nose. And she's holding her cheekbone.
Well, the elbow really catches her as she goes up, right in the jaw. And that's one of the reasons it distracted Atkins from making that shot.
And Negri picks up the foul and a little pain in the chops there as well.
Lisa Negri, a 6'2" freshman out of Flint, Michigan, has really done a tremendous job for Nancy Darcy's Ohio State team off the bench.
Micah Atkins, a freshman from Lorain, Texas, hits her first free throw. Atkins, as a bench player who sees a fair amount of time, averages 9.6 points a game.
They like to call her Mikey.
And she hits 2. 1-point lead for the Raiders. Steal by Scott. All the Raiders contributing in different ways, and Swoopes is fouled by Keaton.
Well, not much contact on the baseline, but I know Nikki Keaton was trying to cut that baseline off against Sheryl Swoopes with that quick step.
About the positioning at the free throw line. Swoopes to the line. 17 fouls on Ohio State, 6 on Texas Tech.
Bishop Kirkland always has that smile on her face. She'll be smiling in June when she gets married.
Swoopes hits the first to make it a 2-point game again. .33 points for Swoopes. 3-point lead for the Raiders. Roberts inside for Keaton. Keaton, what a shot!
Well, Keaton is just bulldozing her way in there, using her body, getting position, and Atkins, the freshman, doesn't know how to get Keaton out of that key.
by Roberts. Works her way back in a little bit more, and this tenacious Buckeye defense starting to have some effect. 8 seconds on the shot clock. A little too tenacious. Bond against Kirkland.
You see the senior Nikki Pete going down low. Look at her just back in, back in. And Atkins does not know how to get down and use her lower body to push Keaton out. So give credit to the senior in getting good position to put that ball in.
Just to Kirkland to the line. Negri rebounds. 1-point game. Texas Tech, 9:43 remaining. Ohio State went to overtime to beat Iowa yesterday. Vaughn throws up a 3, and it won't drop for her. Scott dives in to control the rebound, and Vaughn gets a hand on it for a jump ball. Possession arrow is Ohio State.
One of the reasons that Stephanie Scott puts those knee pads on is because she's down on the floor a lot. And when she was growing up in Plano, Texas, her team was the Texas Lady Longhorns, and they all wore knee pads.
Raider ball again. No, Ohio State ball, pardon me.
But just mentioned in Texas, Texas Tech and them a great rivalry, kind of like Ohio State and Iowa. And Texas just dominated the Southwest Conference for so many years, and all of a sudden Texas Tech came into life.
Smith.
Smith uses her body so well to avoid the charge on that penetration.
20 points for Katie Smith. She's had a great second half.
There's the zone by Ohio State.
Sheryl Swoopes. 36 points. Ohio State's Buckeyes, unranked, overlooked before the season began. Here they are in the championship game. 2-point margin. Texas Tech on top. These teams have never played each other. Neither team has been in the championship game since these NCAAs were started for women. That's Keaton. Rebounded by Smith, and she's got it. And it is Swoopes with a foul. All the Raiders contributing. Stephanie Scott, the junior from Plano, 4 points for her, and a big basket, a 3-point lead. 7:48 remains. Katie Smith bowls away along the line, tried to feed Negri, picked off by Kirkland.
That time she got trapped on the baseline, and the defense just converged, and the pass was not there. Trying to get the ball inside to Swoopes and Klinger.
This is Swoopes, double teamed in there. Still gets the shot off, won't go though. Good job by Smith to distract her. May have got a piece of the ball.
One of the few times that Sheryl Swoopes has really forced the shot.
And Bond takes a timeout for Ohio State. 7:09 remaining. 65-62, Texas Tech.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm in press row. Spare a thought, if you will, for this man, Casey Westenrieder. He writes for the Texas Tech University newspaper. He's been following them all year, and surely he wants his team to win. But he placed what could be a very stupid bet. And if he loses it, the Texas Tech team, if they win tomorrow night, they get to shave this man's head. How do you like your chances for keeping your hair?
Well, my hair doesn't like it, but I hope I get a haircut. I need one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I like the Three Stooges tie, like curly up on top. That's what it's going to look like.
I'd say Casey could use a little trim. All right, 6:55 to go. Raiders by 3.
He'd be wearing that tie a lot, him and Curly.
Johnson, Kirkland, and a steal by Bond. It got away from Krista Kirkland. Katie Smith. Won't go for her. And on the rebound, Negri and Klinger going for it. The push, I believe, will be on Negri. It is her second foul.
The Buckeyes had the shot they wanted in the transition game. Usually Smith can knock that shot down. It just didn't fall for her that time, and Negri trying to hit the offensive board.
Smith is 9 of 16 from the field, but she has 15 points in the second half compared to 8 in the first half. So she has been the leader for the Buckeyes here in the second half. Kirkland at the line. And she hits to widen it to 4. 14 points for Kirkland. She had 14 yesterday against Vanderbilt. In the second, rebounded by Bond. Ohio State shooting at 57% this second half, and Texas Tech at 60%.
Both teams above their averages. Texas Tech, number 1 in the country, 52%, 47% for Ohio State.
Roberts mows down Scott, and Smith hits for 2 right on the line. 25 points for Katie Smith.
She had a career high on CBS against Virginia earlier with 35 points.
Scott watched by Smith. Remember, Katie Smith, just a freshman. Sheryl Swoopes in her final game.
Ohio State's really done a good job as far as keeping the ball out of Sheryl Swoopes' hands in this second half.
Here's Keaton. Drop for her. Rebounded by Negri. Negri in all kinds of traffic. Gets it out to Keaton. Good job. Roberts off the front iron. Rebounded by Kirkland. And the Buckeyes cool down. 2-point lead for the Raiders.
The Lady Raiders use the back door. There it is.
Kirkland. Foul on Smith.
With this tight defense, you have an opportunity to go back door. That time they were able to use it. Kirkland saw Swoopes on the weak side after the defense picked her up.
3 minutes has gone by without a basket by Swoopes. Let's see her at the free throw line.
Elisha Bond came in and did a wonderful job filling in for Audrey Bursey.
Bursey back in, number 15, the senior. Swoopes at the line. Personal on Smith. 37 points. Sheryl Swoopes, pride of Brownfield, Texas. Louise here to watch all of this excitement of the NCAA championship game. And a pair to 38 points. And 68-64, Texas Tech, Lady Raider lead. Good feed inside. Bursey to Keaton.
That's a great feed by Audrey Bursey. Ohio State passed the ball around the perimeter, and as the zone was shifting, saw Keaton wide open.
15 points for Keaton. Swoopes fouled.
That was one of those bad passes that Sheryl Swoopes went up and got. You see Audrey Bursey making the zone look like it's going to go back out to the perimeter to Smith, and Nikki Keaton wide open, and she makes a nice penetration in deep against the defense.
Keaton picks up her third personal at the other end, sending Swoopes to the line again. Swoopes with 38 points, doesn't miss from here too often. Doesn't miss too often, period. 38 points, the highest count in the 1993 tournament. She already held that mark at 36 against Colorado. She makes 2, rattling that one around a little bit, 70-66. 40 points for Sheryl Swoopes. Roberts for 3. Averill Roberts, the senior from Boston, 13 for her.
That's her first basket in the second half.
She's had a little bench time with 3 fouls. Klinger.
Everybody just cleared out for Klinger. Klinger not an offensive threat because nobody's been watching her. It's a one-on-one situation. Because of the tight defense, Texas Tech just cleared it out, pulled everybody high. And thank you very much. No help defense at all. And Negri gets called for the foul all by herself. But a great pass by Noelle Johnson inside to Cynthia Klinger. And that's what makes Texas Tech so tough. Everybody keys on Sheryl Swoopes and Krista Kirkland. And then you've got somebody else open.
Klinger makes it a three-point play in the third personal. 3:58 to go. Texas Tech on top. Well, you can see that the two stars that we identified for you at the beginning of our game have indeed been the stars. 40 points for Swoopes, 25 for Katie Smith. Both teams shooting hot in the second half. Wow. 73 to 69. Texas Tech on top. They've never played each other. They've never been in the championship game, either team. And Ohio State unranked when the season began. Keaton forcing it up through Klinger, and Klinger picks up her fifth personal, and she is gone.
Ohio State really has to keep the pressure on coming out of that timeout, I felt. And right away, they went right inside to Cynthia Klinger on defense. She fouls out with 7 points, but she's a big foul out because of what she adds to this team defensively and rebounding, and a big three-point play down on the other end before that timeout. But a heads-up play by Ohio State, keeping the pressure on, going inside to Nikki Keaton.
And it'll mean now that they'll go from a senior to a freshman. Micah Atkins has had some time today, played effectively against Iowa, against Vanderbilt yesterday. And 6-footers from Lorain, Texas. 55. Keaton at the line. Another solid game for Nikki Keaton. 16 points for her, the senior from Lansing.
There's 4 brothers and 5 sisters.
Tommy hits 2, 73 to 71. 3:43 to go. Johnson and Scott in the backcourt. Kirkland, Swoopes, and Micah Atkins up front.
Good pressure defense by Ohio State.
Percy jumps in to knock that out of bounds.
Offensively, the Lady Raiders have to set some picks, cannot keep dribbling against this pressure defense of Bursey and Roberts out front. And Smith, they need to set some picks, look for the back doors. Or get it to Sheryl Swoopes. I forgot the eyeball.
In and out. She was open and missed it. Katie Smith rebounding. Chance to tie or go ahead with a 3. Roberts for Smith. Bursey in three-point range. Roberts. Pass in. Stolen away by Kirkland.
You can see Ohio State was really looking to get the ball inside, and Nikki Keaton just was not really a high percentage pass. Sheryl Swoopes has not scored in the last 6 minutes. She only has 4 field goals in this second half, 4 of 6. So in the first half, she made 10, and she has not been able to shoot the ball as much in the second half. But when you're hot, you get it to your main player.
42 points on the game for Swoopes. A sharp angle shot from the baseline, a 4-point lead for the Lady Raiders. This has been all a championship game could be for these women. Keaton right back for the Buckeyes. Back to 2. 19 for Nikki Keaton.
Ohio State continuing to go inside to Nikki Keaton, maybe making Texas Tech concentrate on her, and then see if they go to Smith or Roberts or Bursey.
Swoopes forcing that one, but got her own rebound, and now she decks Bursey trying to get loose. Bursey had already fouled her. The foul had been called on Bursey, and that's 4 on the senior.
Well, total frustration by Sheryl Swoopes. I think this is a forced shot. She's got 4 white jerseys on her. She kind of gets hit on the arm going up for the shot. And there's the foul right in there as Bursey slaps down, and then you see Swoopes push her away. And Audrey Bursey saying, what? I got pushed down. But that was after she had gotten Swoopes on the arm. But Swoopes got hit a little bit going up for that shot. Even though she had all those jerseys around her, she needs to continue to look for her teammates.
Swoopes, again, a reminder, an 86% free throw shooter, up to 43 points on the game. She's 9 of 9 from the line, make it 10 of 10. Scott pressing a little down court all by herself here just to bother the Buckeyes. 77-73 the lead. And Ohio State takes a timeout. 1:52 left, a 4-point lead for the Lady Raiders of Texas Tech over Ohio State, a great championship game. Texas Tech's band, I guess it's a tribute to Nikki Keaton. I wonder if Bo knows Bose. Well, certainly, yeah, Nikki Keaton has been a key performer for Ohio State. We have 1:52 to go, a 4-point lead for the Lady Raiders. Ohio State ball. Bursey, the senior, in and out. Rebound by Atkins, the freshman, for the Lady Raiders.
Texas Tech getting the ball with Swoopes. A nice pass to Atkins. You don't want to stop playing, and Texas Tech wants to continue to get their shots off. Ohio State is going to be aggressive. They're going to look for their three-point shot if it's open. We've seen Bursey bury him against Iowa, but they'll also look to go inside. They have to continue to be aggressive offensively and defensively.
20 to go. Smith, watched by Stephanie Scott, driving on her.
They're going to call a body contact on Stephanie Scott. Smith taking her to the baseline.
Third on Scott. Smith to the line. Ohio State down by 4, 1:12 to go. Missing the first of two.
A lane violation. Fortunate for Texas Tech. So they should be 2. They said 1-on-1 over the PA.
Now they're going to check. Should have been a 1-on-1.
And if that was the case, Texas Tech would have come up with the rebound. That's right. You always like as a player, and I don't think officials do that enough today anymore in the men's and women's games, where they hold out their fingers on how many shots you get.
Right.
And they don't do that as much today.
There's a 1-on-1. Smith missing the second of the 1-on-1.
Well, she missed the first of
I'm
the
sorry,
1-on-1.
yeah, right. So, well, she got 2 shots. 104, and it remains 77 to 73. Swoopes swooping. 46 points.
Well, if you're going to spread the floor for Sheryl Swoopes, you better have some help down low. Smith making a freshman mistake, trying to steal the ball from behind against Sheryl Swoopes, and she handles the ball too good for that.
.1 seconds remain. 79 to 73, Texas Tech. At the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we'll select the Chevrolet players of the game. In conjunction with the award, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of both schools. Tim Ryan with Ann Myers, Mary Cruello, Andrea Joyce, Tara Vanderveer for this championship game, which has been a dandy right from the beginning. 79 to 73. The Lady Raiders of Texas Tech over the Buckeyes of Ohio State with 58.1 seconds to go. That is Sheryl Swoopes, dazzling superstar, and the superstar to be, Katie Smith of Ohio State, already an All-American in her freshman year. Swoopes playing her final game as a collegiate and hoping to go away with a victory.
Tech with 4 timeouts, which really will be to their advantage if Ohio State can keep this close.
Swoopes to the line.
That's what we say. This girl can play.
46 points, make it 47. 80 to 73. The Buckeyes up against it now, under a minute. Lucy Vaughn in the backcourt, and Smith with Kirkland jumping in to knock that out of bounds. We mentioned earlier that Texas Tech has never won a title in the NCAA competition in any sport. What a thrill it would be here in the major one, women's basketball. Kirkland comes up with a loose ball on a diving steal by Stephanie Scott. Scott, the junior from Plano, Texas. She hasn't been a star in this game, but she's made a number of very key plays. There are more talents out there than just Sheryl Swoopes on this Texas Tech team, coached by Marcia Sharp. Kirkland goes to the line. She has 14 points, as she did yesterday against Vanderbilt, playing her final game, and she misses the free throw. Bursey with it. 40 seconds left. Bursey for three. Rebound Smith. Layup for it and missed the layup. Jump ball. Possession now is Texas Tech.
Well, Bursey put up a good shot. Smith was right there. I thought she was going to tip it in rather than come down with it. And I think she wanted to try and draw a foul.
Smith with 25 points. Foul called immediately on Bond. 31.8 left. Third on Elijah Bond, who's done a good job. The sophomore off the bench from Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Noelle Johnson will go to the free throw line. She has 4 points. Shoots 72% from the charity stripe.
I tell you, Texas Tech has got to be happy it's not over with 31 seconds left because a few three-pointers, but could knock it down for Ohio State. But Texas Tech has played such good defense. And give credit to the Buckeyes as far as their comeback. They came back and took the lead. They were down by as much as 11 points. And they just could not pull the rug out from underneath the Lady Raiders.
Noelle Johnson calmly hits two, the sophomore from Nazareth, Texas. 82-73. They can start celebrating in Lubbock. Atkins rebounds. Loose ball. Smith throws it up. Smith again, and she drops that one. 82-75.
Smith, 27 points. You've got to give her credit. Hustling after the basketball.
Smith will try to make it a three-point play. 20.8 seconds remains.
Sheryl Swoopes picking up her 4th foul, but the player of the year, what a game she's had.
Timeout called by Nancy Darsh. 20.8 to go, 82-76. Well, the familiar names in these championship matches have been Stanford and Tennessee in recent years. 4 newcomers to the Final Four this year. Texas Tech and Ohio State, if the Lady Raiders prevail, winning the first ever championship for their school in Lubbock, Texas. Ohio State, if they can't pull this out, will still have had an outstanding year. They were unranked at the beginning of the year. They have a record of 28-3 right now. Nancy Darsh and her staff have done a wonderful job, and they have got an outstanding team. And credit to their seniors, Audrey Bursey, Gabriel Roberts, Nikki Keaton among the starters, Lisa Sebastian, all will be playing their final game here today. Still with a shot at 20.8 seconds, but the game appears to be in the control of the Lady Raiders from Texas Tech. Dazzling performance by Sheryl Swoopes today as she heads into a new career in professional basketball, probably in Europe, and hoping to coach back in Texas someday.
And at Brownfield High School, they retired her number. So she's already had it retired.
Kirkland will inbound. And immediate foul. 2 of the Buckeyes rushing over there to deck Noelle Johnson. Couple of tenths off the clock, and Johnson will go to the line.
Nancy Darsh, no stranger to the Final Four. She was an assistant under Pat Summitt at Tennessee for 5 years. They never won it, but they were there, and she has a taste of it, a flavor of it, and comes up a runner-up again. This time as a head coach at Ohio State, but we got to listen to Tara Vanderveer at halftime, and Tara Vanderveer was coaching at Ohio State before Nancy Darsh got there.
Noelle Johnson with 6 points makes it 7, and she hit her last 2 from the line. Very poised sophomore from Nazareth, Texas, shoots 72% from the line. And she makes another pair, 84-76. Katie Smith side. Kirkland kicks out to Bursey for three. Off the glass.
She called that one too, didn't she?
Yeah.
Bang.
84 to 79. We're in the final 6 seconds, and another foul called. Roberts on Kirkland. It should be Roberts' fifth, I believe, and you can see that Marcia Sharp is thinking victory here. Did you play against Marcia in college ball somewhere?
Oh, that was a while. She went to Wayland Baptist College, and I played AAU ball against them, the Flying Queens. And then my freshman year, when I was at UCLA, we went to the NWIT.
Kirkland misses the free throw. Smith rebounds, and Bursey hits at the buzzer. But the victory is a 2-point margin for the Lady Raiders of Texas Tech. Texas has got to be thrilled with this victory by the Lady Raiders from Texas Tech. And you saw an embrace there just moments ago between these two. Krista Kirkland and Sheryl Swoopes, two seniors, two pals, two fine basketball players. Mary Carrillo is out on the floor.
Sheryl Swoopes writing and rewriting history. First ever national title for Texas Tech. Does it feel like what you thought it would feel like?
Oh man, it's even better. This is just really something special, and I just think the fact that this is our last year and this is really something we look forward to doing, and it feels really great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to Tim.
All right, Mary, the Chevrolet players of the game are easy. Sheryl Swoopes from Texas Tech, Katie Smith from Ohio State, the next star in women's basketball. And so for Ann Myers, Mary Carrillo, and Andrea Joyce, I'm Tim Ryan saying so long from the Omni, where the final score, Texas Tech 84, Ohio State 82.